abortion debate heated up in the halls of Capitol Hill and on the House floor itself.
It is outrageous. It further places the religious views, mind you, of some into our public policy.
I rise today to urge the passage of this vital amendment.
The controversial amendment introduced by Democrat Bart Stupak and Republican Joe Pitts would bar any new government insurance plan from covering abortions, an extension of a law which its authors say has been on the books since the 1970s.
I am not writing a new federal abortion policy. The Hyde Amendment already prohibits federal funding of abortion.
Late last night, the amendment passed 240 to 194.
The amendment's adopted.
It was a major concession for pro-abortion rights Democrats to ensure the success of the overall health care bill and secure the 218 votes needed to win passage. But abortion rights activists say it was a huge step back.
The fact of the matter is, health care debate should be covering all Americans, including women and their reproductive health.
64 Democrats joined 176 Republicans to vote for the amendment. And anti-abortion activists say that may be a sign.
It was very exciting last night to see demonstrated that there is a bipartisan pro-life majority in the House, and that reflects the pro-life majority in America.
But abortion opponents aren't declaring victory just yet. The bill now goes to the Senate, where ardent defenders of abortion rights promise to remove the amendment from the final version of the health care plan. Michelle Miller, CBS News, New York.
For more on last night's health care vote and its prospects in the Senate, we are joined by our senior political correspondent, Jeff Greenfield. Jeff, good evening.
Hi, Russ.
What are some of the roadblocks between what the House passed last night and an actual health care law as we move forward?
The first is just the very different nature of the two houses. In the House, as we saw last night, you can pass a bill with a bare majority. In the Senate, with 100 members, you need 60 votes to start debate on a bill, and you need 60 votes, more importantly, to end debate on the bill. There are 60 Democrats and independents who vote like Democrats in the Senate, but you've already got a couple of them expressing doubts about this bill, so it's very hard to see how what we saw last night come out of the House passes. Then there's the pesky matter of substance. Take one example. In the House bill, there's a so-called millionaire's tax, a surcharge on affluent families and individuals. There's no way that's going to get through the Senate. We know that now, or at least think we do. Now, if that doesn't get through the Senate, then where does the money come from to pay for that bill? So that's just a couple of examples of a couple of the dilemmas.
Only one Republican in the House voted for the bill last night, Joseph Cao of Louisiana, who comes from a generally Democratic district. Yeah. Historically, does that have any significance at all?
Yeah, I think it does. We generally see is that landmark legislation like this often takes bipartisan majorities. In 1935, for instance, when the Congress passed Social Security, 16 Republican senators voted for it, and only 5 voted against it. In the House, most Republicans voted for it. On the Medicare bill in 1965, almost as many Republicans in the House voted for it as against it, and almost as many Republicans, I think 13 in the Senate voted for it, 17 opposed. Now, by contrast, this looks like the kind of vote we got when Bill Clinton got his budget through the Congress in 1993 by 1 vote in each House. No Republicans voted for it. And you can see how the lack of bipartisanship probably means that next year this is going to be a campaign issue for Republicans, even if something called health care passes. It's very unusual to have something that changes so fundamental a fact as health care pass without a bipartisan vote.
Jeff Greenfield, thank you very much.
Okay, Russ.